Greetings, I'm Casey Holdahl, Trailblazers.com. He is Lamar Hurd, Trailblazers television analyst, and this is What's the Secret, presented by Biofreeze. Today we're going to be talking about Jusuf Nurkić's historic game on New Year's Day versus the Kings.
Casey, you got to tell me what's the secret to the 24 points, 23 rebounds, 7 assists, 5 blocks, 5 steals. What's the secret to it? I needed answers. I mean, it was such a crazy game.
The secret is being Jusuf Nurkić and being on a roll in terms of your playmaking and your defense. And to be perfectly honest, Lamar, if I knew what the secret was, I would be using it myself. So we should probably just leave it to Jusuf to instruct us on what exactly it was he was doing in this game.
Yeah, let's just watch and see. Maybe we'll learn a thing or two, or 24 and 23 and 7 and 5 and 5. It started early in the game. You could tell he was a force. And he had to have that mindset going against Willie Cauley-Stein. Nice pass to CJ, one of the 7 assists. Because Cauley-Stein, one of those pogo stick type jumpers, like a Gobert, not as skilled, but if you give him space to jump, he can go up and swat your shot like that right there, what Nurk is doing to the Kings.
Nurk is such an underrated shot blocker, too. You know, you look at him, and he just doesn't give you the impression of like, oh, this is kind of a high-flying shot blocking guy, but he's so smart with his timing and knowing where the ball is supposed to be at and getting to that spot first, particularly on those little half layups really close to the rim. I don't know if it's from playing against Damian in practice or just from learning it, just knowing that, like, if I get to this spot, I can get that block.
Oh, this play was one of my favorites because he challenges the shot. We'll rewind this play and look at it again. He flies out to the shot and then just takes off. And this is what you're supposed to do. You know, like, if you challenge and you see like you have the numbers and your team is going to get the ball, now it's up to your team to get the ball and then make the right pass. And Dame with the left hand bullet pass puts it on a string. That's beautiful basketball over the top. That's a perfect pass.
Exactly. And with 2 defenders in the region, you know, that ball can easily be picked off if it's not right in the exact spot.
And for Nurk to catch it and turn without traveling and get up off the one leg for a big dude like him.
And to even just be his size and to be able to get out and transition like that. And as you mentioned, like he knows he contests that shot, and he even put his arm out. He's like, I'm going to the other end. Find me.
He's gone, And then the jump shot after he's banging him in the post. Now he's taking him out on the perimeter. And this was that series of time, Case, when, as you remember, again, a steal, gets it on a break and does the right thing, gives it up, lets somebody else make the play.
Just a little style on it.
This was a time when the Blazers were playing through Nurk a lot, giving him like 9 or 10 more post-ups a game than the season average. And he was delivering.
A great game against Cauley-Stein on the defensive end as well. It happened a lot in this game where Nurk would just give him the room and dare him to drive on him, and Nurk would just meet him with his body and force misses.
Yeah.
You know? Like, it was one of those things where if you want to put the ball on the floor, fine, but I don't think you have the skill to do it. Nurk called the bluff every single time.
He did. You're right. Yeah, Cauley-Stein had a really tough game.
And Jusuf again, too. He loves to talk.
Troll game on 1,000.
Troll game.
He screens, he rolls. Now he has the one-on-one. Look at the vision. Let's rewind the play.
Absolutely.
And we're going to let it go. And I'm going to tell you when we're going to freeze it right there. E.T., high basketball IQ, slides up, sets the back screen. And Nurk sees all that. He's not just seeing that he's got an open shooter on the weak side. He knows that the reason the shooter's open because Evan is screening for me. So that's going to help me get the pass over the top. Giles doesn't have the hands up, so Nurk's just able, and then being 7 feet, you can go over the top.
And Harry Giles is not a small man.
He's not a small
you know,
dude.
like, and Nurk
makes
is
him look
towering
small.
over him. Exactly. Like, he's able to put that baseball pass over his head because he's like, I'm so much bigger than you. You know, he's in that stance thinking like, hey, are you going to drive on me? And Nurk's like, no, I'm just going to pick you guys apart.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's go ahead and run it forward here. And then Chief just getting his feet set, raising up.
Another one of the 7 assists there. And he's just so disruptive.
Steal.
He's been over a steal a game for most of the league, or most of the season. One of 17 guys for most of the season, averaging at least 10 rebounds a game. He's just filling up the stat sheet, not just in this game, but just all year long.
Well, and he has been great all year long, as you mentioned, Lamar. Again, just a great block there. Just getting to the spot.
Yeah. He's long.
Well, this was as mentioned.
Oh my goodness!
Another one. I don't even know. I don't think Cauley Stein even got the ball in his hand.
You can tell he didn't believe anything was going to happen positive for him there at Cauley Stein.
Just batting the ball back too.
Extra effort.
That has become such a huge part of rebounding in the NBA. Is not necessarily securing it, but knowing like I got guys back. I need to see if I can tap that ball.
And it's a smart play. You don't get backcourt on it. You can tip that ball backcourt, and the guy can go chase it down. It's not backcourt until it's controlled.
At this point too, the game is still close, and this was an overtime game, obviously, and. Nurkić really making the difference in this one for the Blazers, where I think a lot of times, we've seen both Damian and CJ have big games against the Kings.
Yep.
This one, Blazers don't come away with this W if it's not for Nurkić.
Look at that. Nurk steps up on the screen. CJ does his job fighting over the top. And that's one reason you hear Damian so happy about where the season has gone in terms of his production he's had to put forth. He hasn't had to have the monster games that he's maybe had to have early in the season. And so he could save that stuff up maybe for the end of the year, the long run.
And as you mentioned, Jusuf Nurkić finished with 24 points, 23 rebounds, 7 assists, 5 blocks, and 5 steals. No player in NBA history had ever done that before.
History?
Jusuf Nurkić, the
history
first.
Case, Nurk is the
history.
first.
That is the secret, is making history.
Nurk fever.